There are types of istijrar. There are two types of istijrar. Istijrar with deferred payment, istijrar with advance payment. Istijrar with deferred payment, it is an arrangement because there are two things that a salary person or a businessman who comes to the shopkeeper and he says that, okay, I pay you in advance and I will get my article of need as in time, as and when needed basis, and we will account the settle at the end of the month. This is one possibility, and we will call it, this is the istijrar with advance payment. And sometimes he says that, okay, we will buy article of our need as in time on gradual basis, and we will account the settles at the end of the month, and we will pay at the end of the month. So this is the istijrar with deferment payment. So these are the two types of istijrar. Now, istijrar with deferment, it is an arrangement in which someone get the articles of need from another person from time to time as and when needed without any offer and acceptance or the price bargain between the two. The price is paid at the end when the contract is concluded and accounts are settled. The following points are important in such a type of istijrar. So, number one, if the seller if the seller tells the buyer the selling price of merchandise at the time of buyer getting possession of it, then the sale stands valid every time buyer takes possession. It is simply a case of deferred payment sale. There is no objection in it. For example, a person came to the shopkeeper and he said that, okay, give me the 1 kg sugar. The seller disclosed the price. The seller said that, okay, that the per kg price of the sugar is 160 rupee, and he said it, okay, give me, then I will pay you at the after some time. So this is the simple credit sale, normal credit sale. There's no problem in it, though we will consider it that it is different from credit sale, because in credit sale there is offer and acceptance, etc., but here there is no offer and acceptance. So that is why we call it different. This is the type of istijrar with deferred payment basis. Okay. The B, if the seller does not tell the buyer the price of merchandise every time the buyer takes its possession, but contracting parties understand that sale is being executed at market price. This is the main point here, that both buyer and seller both are aware of market price and both have understanding that this act of buying and selling is being done on market price. This is understood. So which is determined and known in a manner that there is no possibility of change in it or dispute. वो इतनी वाजे है कि दोनों में किसी किस्म का कोई झगड़ा पैदा नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि वो इतनी मशहूर प्राइस है मार्केट में, हर किसी को पता है चीज की कीमत इतनी, अगर चीज ऐसी है तो इस सूरत में then the sale stands valid every time buyer takes the possession of the merchandise. This is the second possibility. When the seller said that, give me one bottle of Pepsi, and he said that, and he handed over it. The seller handed over to the buyer, but the seller did not disclose the price. But the price is clear because everyone know that what is the price of the bottle of Pepsi. So that is why both seller and the buyer both have understanding that they are buying and selling on the market price. So this is the second the possibility. The third possibility is if at the time of possession of the merchandise, that when the buyer said that give me one bottle of Pepsi and he bought it, any other item, and he took into the possession, buyer took the possession, its price was not known, or the two parties agreed that the sale will be executed at the market price, but if it is difficult to determine a mutually agreeable market price. Here again two things. Look at here. Unknown, this is one thing, or The two parties agreed that sale will be executed at market price, but if it is difficult to determine a mutually agreeable market price was not also a clear. There was a possibility of dispute between the parties. So in both these two situations, owing to large variations in the market price, because market price was unknown because of there is a large variation in the market, then the sale is not valid at the time of possession. Then sale is not valid at the time of possession. Rather, it will stand valid at the time of settlement of account, after agreeing to a market price, and its validity will be referred to the time of the possession, as it's known as ex post, ab initio. So actually, this this C part is considered actually the matter of disputed istijrar. You can say that. Regarding this third type, the Hanafi says that we will say that this will be considered honor ab initio. This is the. However, regarding these three type of sales, A, B, C, Shafi says that it is not allowed, but Hanafi says that it is allowed. So these three cases are possible in istijrar with deferred payment. Other is istijrar with advance payment. It is an arrangement in which someone keeps getting the articles of need from an other person from time to time as and when needed without any offer and acceptance or price bargain between the two. The price is paid in advance by the buyer to the seller and accounts are settled towards the end of the contract period. Here the price is paid in advance. This type of istidrar has two important Sharia aspects to ponder further on. Number one, will price of merchandise be known or unknown to the parties? या तो चीज की कीमत का लोग दोनों को पता होगा या दोनों को पता नहीं होगा, अंडरस्टूड नहीं होगी. The second is, what will be the rationale of advance payment made here? Advance payment जो आपको दी गई है, what is the Sharia justification of advance payment? Whether this advance payment will be considered price or the advance payment will be considered trust, amana, to the seller, because a buyer handed over advance payment. The Sharia says that what is the rationale of this advance payment? What will be considered? It will be considered in the ownership of the seller or it will be considered as amana. So this is the meaning कि उसने जो एडवांस पेमेंट दी है सेलर को, बायर ने, तो वो पैसा उसकी जेब में जब जाएगा, when the seller will put that advance payment in his pocket, whether it will be considered ownership, own money of seller, or it will be considered as amana from buyer. This is the two things in advance payment. Number one, will price of merchandise be known or unknown to the parties? There are two possibilities. First possibility, one possibility is to consider this advance money, as the price paid in advance. For such possibility, Sharia stipulates two conditions. Sharia says that price paid in advance, how to deal it. At the time of the price payment, the exact kind of merchandise, its features, and the quality all must be known. If the price paid in advance, then two conditions must be determined. Number one, at the time of price payment in the beginning, because this is advance payment, it can be partial, it can be full price, both are allowed. At the time of price payment, the exact kind of merchandise that going to be sold, sold and bought, things, commodity, its features and the quality all must be known. Second, the merchandise must be type on which salam or istisna sales can also be executed. And the Istijrar contract must have fulfilled the respective Sharia requirement of either of these two types of sales. Incidentally, in practice. So, the second thing, that then in this case, first possibility, istijrar will be considered only on those types of goods where salam or istisna is permissible. If, for example, animals cannot be sold on istijrar basis in case of price paid in advance. Why? Because here the animals are not subject matter of salam, not subject matter of istisna. So istisna, through istijrar they cannot be sold. Okay. However, both of the above conditions are not observed in case of istijrar. Second possibility. The second possibility is to consider that payment made by the buyer to the seller is an amana deposit, because in the beginning of the month he gave him 10,000 rupee and said that I will buy article of my need time to time. Then that amount, 10,000 rupee, will be considered as deposit money, as amana in the hand of seller. So this will mean that the seller cannot consume this money for his own needs. It is, however, practically very difficult, as sellers usually don't keep it separate. क्योंकि सेलर्स जो होता है उस अमाउंट को तो अलग तो रख नहीं सकता, बिजनेसमैन है वो तो इस्तेमाल करता रहता है. रादर ऑल दे डू इज टू कीप एन अकाउंट ऑफ दिस मनी while benefiting from its use. तो वो तो उसको इस्तेमाल करके क्या करते हैं, इस्तेमाल कर लेते हैं, उसको अमानत के तौर पर रखे थोड़ी रहते हैं. तो कहते हैं कि ये प्रैक्टिकली एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. तो सेकंड पॉसिबिलिटी इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल, प्रैक्टिसेबल नहीं है. थर्ड पॉसिबिलिटी, फाइनली वन मे कंसिडर दिस सम एज ए लोन extended by buyer to the seller, by virtue of which he can use his amount for his own purpose. The third possibility ये है कि हम ये कहेंगे कि it means that buyer is extending a loan to the seller. He is giving loan. Now, when a seller will be considered as a borrower, he put that money in his pocket, and you know that the seller will become owner of that money, because in loan the money is transferred from, the ownership is transferred from lender to the borrower. So it will be considered seller's money. Then seller is allowed to use it. But the ambiguity here is that this will be kind of loan that is conditional. कंडीशनल कैसे हो जाएगा? भाई मैं आपको लोन तो दे रहा हूं, आई एम गिविंग यू लोन, बट ऑन द कंडीशन दैट आई विल बाय माय आर्टिकल ऑफ नीड time to time. So there will be conditional loan. And you know that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, prohibited from sale and condition. Naha Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam an bay' wa shart. There is a contingency between the two contracts. One contract get dependent on the other, loan and sale. It is not allowed. The future expected sale between the two parties, such a condition is against the requirement of loan contract. So this third point is also, there is a big problem here. The Sheikh Usmani suggests a different rationale for this advance sum. In his view, such an amount should be considered on the account. On account. On account may mean al-hisab. In fiqh terms, an amount given on account is special kind of loan that permits adjoint sale. So this is a loan with a sale condition introduced in it. Hanafi scholars consider such as introduction of a condition. Scholars consider such introduction of a condition permissible. एक कॉन्सेप्ट आता है कि भाई मैं आपको पहले पैसे दे देता हूं, तो मैं आपसे कोई चीजें खरीदता रहूंगा, आखिर में जब हम हिसाब किताब करेंगे तो जो अमाउंट बाकी रह गई होगी तो मैं वो आपको पे कर दूंगा या आप मुझे पे कर देंगे. वो इसको कहते हैं कि ऑन अकाउंट. इट इज नोन एज ऑन अकाउंट. Hanafi says that looking at the practice, looking at the need of the time, such conditioning is permissible here. Looking at, so it is known as on account. Okay, so this is the types of istijrar, and this is the concept of istijrar. Okay, to the topic as we have done,